listeners. That was A Cup of Liberty, the Irish folk tavern music cover by Colm R. McGuinness. I'm gonna have to agree with the comment here. I heartily believe most songs can be improved by putting them into the Irish tavern genre. So, before we get into anything else, I've got some exciting news this morning. We are nearing the conclusion of the 60-day plan, and in my humble opinion, Helldivers 2 is in the best state that it's ever been in. Technically, the 60th day fell upon this past Saturday, but Airhead R&D takes the weekends off, and they don't want to break any of our equipment, where the weekend warrior crowd is ravaging bugs and bots. Probably a good call. The next patch will be released on day 63, next Tuesday, October 15th, which means it will probably be another long day for me. On one paw, I just hope that it isn't another half-hour-long broadcast that takes me 12 hours to put together. On the other, I kind of hope that it is. However, I do have some advanced notes on what we can expect from the patch right here. First and foremost, aerial and swarm enemies are going to be in some pretty big trouble because the autocannon and recoilless rifle are getting flak. I have seen a number of people ask, what even is flak? It is well known that autocannon and RR munitions explode on impact. The flak option simply means that this explosion is set on a timer so that it goes off on distance traveled over time instead of impact. Basically, they'll explode in mid-air. This will be very disagreeable to things that are fragile but move around an awful lot like hunters and shriekers. Our best AT options will be getting anti-personnel options as well that you can toggle on and off as desired. At least, that is how I am interpreting this information. Both options are good, and I'd like the choice of what I want to use at a given moment, please and thank you. Next up, the Scorcher will be receiving a full automatic firing mode, which will be great for decommissioning bots. At one point, the Scorcher was considered the premier bot-busting weapon, but ever since the advent of reinforced striders and the creation of other SEAF weapons, the Scorcher just kind of fell by the wayside. It's not a bad weapon. It's just that the attention of the community is fickle, and many are easily distracted by keys. I also hear that the Purifier will be getting some buffs, and that is a weapon very near and dear to my heart. There was also some hints about the Stalwart getting some changes, but the press didn't go into details about that. I'll just say, get excited. You will be able to recall and rearm your drone when you're not using it, or simply turn it off for a time if you don't want it autonomously gunning down the enemies of democracy. Don't worry, disabling automatic drone weaponry will only be a slight demerit on your personal record. You won't be sent to a freedom camp this time. That's all the information I've got of the patch coming next Tuesday, so I'll just keep this report rolling and round out the morning news with, the morning news from the Galactic Sphere. During the night, bug divers worked over Darius II like a massage parlor. The bug hives are definitely where this planet keeps most of its stress. Progress is extremely swift, scoring well in excess of 3% liberation an hour. We should have this wrapped up in about 17 hours or so. However, Gar Haren is still having a hard time of things and can't seem to manage the swarm. Its defense looks to collapse today in another 6 hours, and already plans for retreat and oral retaliation are being drawn up. Similarly, the forest moon of Trandor is still struggling with its new neighbors who just don't get the concept of personal space, losing some small amount of ground in the realms of about 5% over the past night. Once Darius II has been taken, the only planet left on our galactic shopping list is the infamously violent and bloody Gacrux. And once that is taken, we can attend to matters on the southern fringe of the TQZ before the bugs press onward into the Farsight and Ursa sectors. One planet in Farsight is of particular note, Grand Errant, which has a Hellmire biome. Do you want to go back to Hellmire? Because I don't want to go back to Hellmire. That's been Liberty's latest with me, Ponderatheradioangel. It's going to be a wonderful, long weekend with another major patch just around the corner, everyone. Are you excited? Because I'm excited. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for Super Earth.